And we're talking back to school anxiety right now and how to manage it with respect to children and parents. And for more on that, we're joined by our good friend, psychiatrist and author, Dr. Shimi Kang. Welcome back to BT.
Hi, Thor. Good morning.
Now, in your research and then your circles of expertise right now, what are you learning and what's the sentiment when it comes to back to school stress? Let's start with the parents and then we'll talk about the children.
I think across the board, there's generally the whole spectrum. There is lots of anxiety for sure. People are still there's a lot of things that are unclear in individual schools and individual districts. But there's also this excitement. I think a lot of parents were happy to hear that their kids can go back. It is a choice, of course, to homeschool, remote school, or go back to school. There's a lot of decision making happening. But I would say we're across that spectrum of anxiety and excitement with decision-making, problem-solving. It is a really challenging time for a lot of families right now.
And when we look at discussing it with our kids and preparing them to get back to school for the next few weeks, let's sort of start with the little ones, the elementary age, because obviously you're going to talk to them differently than a teen or someone who's in high school and getting ready for the next chapter of their life and going into adulthood. So what should we be telling kids, sort of primary school age kids about this?
Right. So young kids really take on anxiety more. They can get easily overwhelmed. And of course, there's too many practical aspects that are beyond their understanding or intellectual abilities. So I think a really important message there is that the adults are present, the adults are there looking after them, and that they themselves don't have to worry. I think that's a really important message. But at the same time, you want to give them a voice and be collaborative. I always tell parents, regardless of the age, start with some curious, open questions. Just how are you feeling about going back to school? What are your concerns, if you have any? What are you looking forward to? What are you worried, or what can I help you with? So that's really important at that young age. And, their developmental stage is all about friends but they may have all kinds of concerns that may even don't have anything to do with COVID as well. Right. All the usual back to school concerns about maybe missing school back in the spring and catching up. So just be open and curious. Start.
Now, say you've got a high schooler, you've got a teen. They're not always, down with talking to mom or dad. So it's a very different tactic. So how do you address it with the older kids?
Yeah, so adolescence is a developmental stage all about independence, and they don't want anyone kind of encroaching on their autonomy and independence. So same idea, but just a little bit more careful. Really start with a lot of statements in terms of how would you like to do this? What do you see as problems? But still, you have to be present, and you have to also give them the message that although they are headed towards adulthood or a teenager, that they still need the adults in their life. And I really suggest for both age groups, start preparation, all the usual back to school stuff, but now prepare in terms of putting the mask in the backpack, hand sanitizer, practicing social distancing, practicing assertiveness with their colleagues and students if they're having concerns or issues. How do you say no to someone? How do you ask someone to step six feet away? So all that role modeling practice preparation is really important always for back to school, and even more now.
Oh, I love that idea, too, of respecting them, as an equal as well, because you're a parent and you're trying to give them guidance as well. But you have to approach them on that respectful level so they will sort of be open to what you have to say. And then, you can sort of have more of a frank discussion and a constructive one. Shimi, thank you so much for your time. We'll put this online for all of our viewers because as it approaches, there's some trepidation among parents and students. So this is great advice.
Thank you.
All right, you take care, and we'll talk to you soon. That's Dr. Shimi Kang, author and psychiatrist.